In this short video, you're going to hear about the word wokeness. You're going to hear from some of the people from The View, and they're all talking about this amazing new press secretary we have, and they're throwing out all sorts of shade. Let's get to it.
Yesterday, the new White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, gave her very first press conference where she announced that they're adding extra seats to the briefing room. Take a look.
It's essential to our team that we share President Trump's message everywhere and adapt this White House to the new media landscape in 2025. This White House believes strongly in the First Amendment, so it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room.
So as you probably surmised, we are going to have a conversation about what's going on in the press room, and The View's got a lot to say about this. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go pretty quick. Let's get to it right now.
What'd she say?
She basically said that they were going to give
unqualified
God,
how boring.
unqualified
Can they get
people
somebody there?
jobs.
Instead of Bob Woodward, they want Kim Kardashian?
So not too surprising, they're doing some pushback on this because it was totally cool. Well, and I'm going to let the press secretary handle this, but oh my God, instead of Bob Woodward, they want Kim Kardashian. No, they want to, well, again, let's leave it to her.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework.
So this young lady that Whoopi's referring to and her first job, that's actually completely false. I don't know if Whoopi did any homework on this one, but Caroline Leavitt was actually working under Kayleigh McEnany, who was the press secretary, the baddest one that ever lived to date. And she was the assistant press secretary for Donald Trump's first term. So to say she's unskilled, that's crazy. She was also a writer for the staff. This woman has done everything at a very young age, and she's promoted based on merit. This is important. Remember, merit. Let's go back to the idiots. Now, this is Whoopi finishing what I rudely interrupted, but I think you're going to kind of get a kick from this. I'm going to do a little interrupting on this, too.
Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Whoopi, you pompous bitch. You don't even know what wokeness is, and this is what you're hanging your hat on. Wokeness, quote, refers to a state of being, especially in terms of social injustices, inequalities. Here's more detailed breakdown. The origin woke originated from the African-American vernacular English and was used to mean being awake or aware of racial discrimination or injustice. This has nothing to do with race. This has to do with women. We're going to get to that in just a couple of seconds. The cultural expansion is over time, wokeness is expanded to include awareness of and sensitivity to issues concerning gender. Okay, that's cool. Sexuality, not so cool. Disability and other forms. Systemic oppression. So Whoopi is stating that our press secretary, Caroline, is there because of wokeness. No. If anything, she's there because of equal rights. Equal rights refers to the principles that all individuals should have the same rights and opportunities, regardless of their personal characteristics, such as race, gender, religion, nationality, sexual orientation, disability, or any other status. Big difference, Whoopi, between wokeism and equal rights. And Whoopi, of all people, because of your skin color, you should probably be super clear on this, as should everybody else in the United States. You're wrong. And I can't help but letting Whoopi continue on and making more of an idiot of herself because, well, everybody on The View is pretty much qualifying for that. But let's let her go.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world. So please stop using that phrase and talking about because you don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, Whoopi, you don't understand what you're saying. Wokeism is now been gentrified or used enough. It has to do with being woke and that it's not a merit-based society. And when we're talking merit-based, because now you got me into that, Caroline is 100% qualified for this position, and it has nothing to do with the fact that she is a woman. It has nothing to do with the fact that the equal rights, which is what you're really trying to say, did its job. That's terrific. And to be fair, it's why you're on TV, Whoopi. It's why everybody from The View is on TV. You have an opinion to express, although we completely disagree with what you're saying, but this opinion is valid and you are capable of expressing it. And your partner, Joy, has done more with this one statement she's about to say to disparage women's success than anybody else I know of.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Okay, even I take offense with that. She was the assistant press secretary, as we just said. She's incredibly young, but incredibly talented at what she's done. She held this position for 3 years, then took a 4-year break when Biden came in and opened the borders, did all sorts of other things that just basically ruined this country. And she's proven herself through that time frame to be very, very competent. And Joy comes in and says it's because she's attractive. So by that, I guess we'd have to consider that everybody on The View, with her exception of Joy and Whoopi, are there because they're attractive. So at this point, the press secretary goes on to say that she's opening up the room for everybody, that if you are an influencer, if you do podcasts and all that, and you qualify and you get a credential going through the proper process, that you can join the White House press crew and be present in that room. And they're freaking out because they're like, well, does that mean Kim Kardashian can do it? Can anybody do it? And then we get into the whole conversation about, well, you guessed it. What if it's just for the right-wing people? Forgetting completely the last 4 years. Let's let them do it again.
What's to prevent those media influences from being only on his side?
Are you flipping kidding me? As I just alluded to, the 2020 to 2024, all channels, including Fox News, were 100% shilling for the Democratic mission. Anything that was done Republican got pushed down, sequestered. It was just not talked about at all. And here she can say this with a straight face. These women are the most horrific liars I have ever seen. I cannot stand The View, but I do love picking at them. I mean, I got to tell you that. And it wouldn't be any good if I didn't bring in my least favorite and the most unqualified, because of all of them, she's the best looking. So she deserves to be the one that shouldn't actually have this job. Sonny, take it away.
The problem that I have with it, though, is, she's saying that these people that are going to apply will meet their criteria. We understand that their criteria is woefully deficient and unserious.
Unreal. It's mind-blowing to me that they actually still have people watching. And I think that most of the people are watching for utter ghastly distaste for what they do, for the fact that they can, with a straight face, talk so critically of everything. So that wraps it up for this one. If you have an opportunity, hit the like and subscribe button. It would mean the world to us, and you're going to enjoy this video we're about to play for you next.